Alright everyone, so today we're heading back out into the wilderness. It's been a little while since I did a nature hike, just do some outdoor exploring. So we're getting a little bit back to the roots of the channel here. We're going to go to John Chesnut Park in Palm Harbor. We're going to look for two things today. We're going to look for geocaches, of course, and also we're going to scout the edge of Lake Tarpon to look for the mysterious and oh so elusive lake monster known as Tarpie. Not a lot of info on Tarpie, but let's see what we can see, or at least what I can tell you. Let's go exploring. Come on, let's go. December 28th, 2023. I am here in John Chesnut Park in Palm Harbor, Florida, a few miles west of Tampa. And today we're going to be doing a little bit of exploration around here. We're going to be doing some hunting. I don't mean hunting as in for like game or sport or anything like that. Hunting for two things in particular: a geocache, possibly a lake monster. We'll see what we can find. But for now, follow me, if you will. We take a trek through this lovely county park. See what kind of gorgeous nature that we can see. Maybe some animal sightings, who knows if we're lucky. And we'll see if we might be able to track down some of the geocaches and whatever else we can find out here. It's always a nice time for a walk in the park. Let's go. Very lovely view right here. Now this part right here is actually a runoff from Lake Tarpon, which is just around the bend up there, maybe an eighth of a mile, very close by. So we are getting closer to the water, and we're gonna go a little closer and see what we can find. Beautiful vistas out here. It's another beautiful view of the Lake Tarpon runoff. Look at this. How well it'll translate on the camera, but yeah, not very well. But there's an enormous spider web stretching from one of these branches back to this pole. It's gorgeous. I love it when the trees grow out over the edge of the water like this. It just makes it very picturesque, very majestic. Okay, so here's the first marker for our first cache treasure hunt. Very much some like scavenger hunt, old-fashioned treasure map style clues here. So the first one says to read this and look for the fourth letter in this sign. If the fourth letter is an I or a T, and it's looking like it's a T, if I am reading this correctly, and I'm pretty sure I am. Let's see what the next clue is. Okay, so our next clue is to go down the dirt trail and look for the second bench near the creek. After that, I'm going to be looking for a palm tree with a heart carved in it. So that's going to be our next step. Let's go ahead and proceed down this trail and count out the benches. I'm not going to record my whole walk down here, just in the name of phone storage space and your precious time. But there's the first bench, so we're going to go a little further down and find the second one. Let's keep going. Okay, so there's the palm tree. I couldn't find any heart carved in it, but it is in the center of the trail, which is the only one that's in the middle of the trail, so that had to have been it. And I walked about 8 steps forward. West is going to be in this direction, and about 9 steps forward, looking for a slanted maple tree. Well, this one's an oak, but it's going to be the only tree in the vicinity that's not a palm, so it's got to be very close by. And as a matter of fact, ding ding ding. There you are, come on out of here. You beauty. That's the one. Geocache letterbox hybrid. I'm not too familiar with letterboxing, but let's open up the spoils of our journey. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, it was raining earlier today, and unfortunately the cache was not immune. So obviously this log is not going to be able to be signed. I'll have to leave a note on the Cache app to have this replaced. Oh, here's some goodies. Little army man. What is this? I don't even know what it is. Yeah, it's way too waterlogged, but I will leave a treat behind. A little wristband. I usually save like random trinkets like this. Just anything that I come across, just in case I come across a cache and I want to leave something behind. But obviously I won't be able to sign that, unfortunately. There you go. Because it is soaked to the bone. Alas, but at least it was a successful find. And there's a second box inside here for a letterbox, which is something I'm not too familiar with. But it looks like I might have a new venture on my hand pretty soon. Unfortunately, just like the cache, waterlogged to the bone. So we're not gonna be able to do much with this, unfortunately. I'll just have to put it back in the thicket and leave a note telling folks that it needs to have a little maintenance done on it. Our first animal sighting. See that little red speck right there? We have a cardinal on hand. How close he'll be able to get, he'll probably fly off. So pretty. There he goes. Hi, buddy. I see you poking your head out there. Bye-bye. Hey, pal, how you doing? Oh, hello, hello, hello. Don't worry, I'm gonna be on my way and I'll leave you be. Okay? Alright. You have a good day, buddy. Oh, what? What is it? No? Thought you were coming over to say hi. Okay, bye-bye. Bye. Brought a little reading with me on our expedition. Monster Spotter's Guide to North America. Because we are here currently at the gorgeous Lake Tarpon. Out here in Palm Harbor, Florida. That beautiful Ninga right there sunning his wings. Now, Lake Tarpon is supposedly home to a lake monster affectionately known as Tarpie. Rather obscure creature, more along the lines of local folklore. Mostly because if you look for him online, you're not going to find more than a couple pages and a couple reports on Tarpie. We're supposed to be kind of like your standard reptilian late Cretaceous lake monster. In fact, there's so few sightings that one can almost state that it's not more than just local folklore. But that remains to be seen. For example, what is this in the water here? It's just a box turtle. So what about you guys? What do you think about the concept of lake monsters or cryptids in general? Any type of strange creature that may or may not be recognized by mainstream science, but people say is still out there. Out here in Florida, we're also very much privy to the skunk ape. If you saw a previous video I went to, we actually went to the skunk ape headquarters near the Everglades. But none of them have been proven by proper science yet, which remains to be seen if they really exist or not. Do you guys believe? Sasquatch, Loch Ness, Mothman, Flatwoods Monster, the Altamaha, Ogopogo. All might sound like gibberish if you don't exactly know the specific creatures. What about the Loveland Frog? I like the Loveland Frog. How about the Hodag? Or the Wampus Cat, the Cactus Cat. Oh, there's so many of them, and they're all fascinating creatures. This is just one of several books that I have. All sorts of different creatures, mysteries, all sorts of interesting things that are out there in this big, wild world that we call home. Who knows what lurks just underneath the water? I won't be getting out there on a boat today to find out, but you never know if it might just be just beyond those reeds there. Tarpie, perhaps, waiting to be found. Who knows? Maybe you might be the one to first sight the mysterious beings that inhabit our world with us, possibly. And of course, on any sort of expedition, it's always good to be prepared for the great outdoors. Even in a nice, curated county park like this with a nice, maintained boardwalk, you never quite might know what you find. That's why I brought my Nightmare on Elm Street backpack. Not going to do a what's in the bag segment, that might take too long. But all I have in here is some food, snacks, water, a few trinkets for geocaching, the book I just showed you, and my phone charger as well. In this digital age, of course, a lot of the stuff we might usually need for treks out in the wilderness we have right here on our phones, so it's always a great idea to keep it charged and ready to go, especially if you want to take any pictures or chart your progress. You most likely have a compass app, which will come in handy as well. It also depends on the terrain where you're going. So you know, as I mentioned, this place with this kind of the wooded paths, marked off trails, not too dangerous. But if you're going to be going out into the woods, into the great beyond, you always want to bring anything that might help defend you against potentially dangerous creatures out there. Like we have bears and panthers and snakes out here in Florida. I don't anticipate encountering any today, but it's always good to be prepared. So I always try to bring some kind of protection with you as well, just to be safe. But can't beat a good backpack, especially when it's horror themed. I give myself bonus points for that. But always best to be prepared. It's a nice pretty little isolated pond here on our lead up to our hunt for the next caches. Let's see there. Watch out for gators. I haven't seen any yet, but they might still be out there somewhere. I'm sure they are. See some more turtles over there in the distance. But the next ones we're going to be looking for are puzzle caches. Puzzle caches are unique because on the geocaching app, where they would normally list coordinates where you could input into a GPS to find the caches, they usually have some kind of puzzle or brain teaser that you need to solve. And what I'll do here, and this is a reminder to future Brad when he goes to edit this video down the line, I'm going to do a screen recording of the puzzles that I had to solve ahead of time to pinpoint the coordinates, and then I'm going to input those on my map and we're going to see if I got those correct or not. We'll do that in a minute. But first, lunchtime. Got my Einstein Bagels cheese and egg sandwich in here. Always remember to stay full and fueled up when you go on a trek out in the wilderness, just in case. Look at this cool little guy. I believe that might be some type of wax cap shroom. It's pretty though. But of course, as always, fungal growths are not to necessarily be trifled with. I don't recommend foraging for any types of shrooms that you find out here in the wild. No touchy. No touchy. And here's another one. This is the American star-footed amanita mushroom. And they're very interesting looking. Just don't want to get too close to them, just in case. Very cool. All right, here's a good example of a puzzle cache. You look at this clue right here, do a little bit of thinking. It's going to show you that you want to go to the actual periodic table and input these elements into a GPS. And then, as you can see here, we can use the coordinates we figure out and use the GPS and Google Maps in this instance to kind of clue us into the exact coordinates where the geocache is going to be hiding. And we're going to look for it once we reach that spot. Here's a little sneak. This is what is known as a Florida hide, which means it's going to be tucked away neatly in the frond of a palm tree. There you are. A little micro cache. I'll be able to open this with one hand. Ugh. Yeah, it's a pill bottle. I'm going to need two hands to open this. But okay, well, you can see the cache in hand right here. And inside, it's a small one, so this is going to be a log for me to sign. Feels pretty dry, so I should be able to do this one okay. And then I'll put it right back where it came from. But I was able to solve the puzzle successfully. That is a victory for me that I'm quite happy with. Yay. Okay, the next one is underneath this gorgeous oak tree. And it's a pretty easy find. A little bit off the beaten path, but it is sitting right out here in the open, so no muss, no fuss with finding this one. There's no bench nearby, so I'm just gonna use my knee. Let's see what we have. What is this, a trading card? Ben Hernandez of the Royals. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Let's go a little lower here. Here we go. What is this? Oh, that's interesting. Gator Rock. A little piece of art. I'm not sure. It's kind of cool though. What is this? Something from Frozen. What is that? A Pog? And a Poe Dameron from Star Wars. Some cool stuff. Here's the log, which I'll sign in a minute. And I'll leave behind a little trinket of my own in a second. But that's another successful find. We are 3 for 3 so far. One more to go. Let's see if we can knock it out of the park today. One thing I didn't bring today that I probably should have is bug spray. Lots of mosquitoes out here. Who'd have thought you'd have mosquitoes in the wild thickets of Florida? Yeah. Future reference, bring bug spray. Note to self. Well, that last cache I was looking for was a little tricky to find. I didn't have much luck, unfortunately. It was a small one, so it would probably be difficult to locate, but 3 out of 4 is not bad. 75% success rate is better than I normally do on these cache expeditions. So hey, I'm satisfied with it. I hope you guys enjoyed our little tour of Chesnut Park and our quick look at Tarpon Lake. No sighting of Tarpie, the lake monster today, unfortunately. Maybe next time, we'll see. But for now, we're gonna go home, get clean, get dry, and get comfy. But hope you guys enjoyed our little expedition today. More to come. There's so much wilderness out there to explore, and I can't wait for you guys to come with me and go off the beaten path and see what we find. Till next time. And we're back, haven't we? Alright, so our double hunt today yielded about a 50-50 result. We got some good geocaches, not so much in the way of lake monsters though. That's okay. I didn't really expect to sight him just from hanging out on the shoreline. You gotta head out there on a boat, get some sonar going, and maybe dive into the lake, dig a little deeper beneath the surface, you know? That's okay. Tarpie remains an enigma and a mystery, ever so elusive. Perhaps one day we'll find him or any of the other cryptid creatures out there. Maybe I'll find a skunk ape right down the road, you never know. But that's going to conclude it for today. One last piece of business is our awesomely awful joke, which comes to us from our good friend Werewolf Exec. Let's see what they have in store for us. Okay, today's joke from Werewolf Exec is, did you know that books change color after you read them? They've become red. There you go, there's our joke. A little bit of a double pun, kind of reminds me of a Clive Barker quote, which I'm not gonna cite right now because it's a little gruesome, but if you know it, you know it. But thank you so much, Werewolf Exec, for the wonderful, awesomely awful joke. And of course, thank you to all of my friends out there who stuck around and watched this, watched me meander about in the wilderness and skulk around in the forest a bit. But we've got so much more to come, lots more stuff to see, more nature explorations and more other cool things down the road. And I do hope that you'll join us and stick with us and see what lies just off the beaten path. I'll see you guys till then next time. Take care, be safe, go explore.